Welcome to Slayerfest 98. My name is Zachary Patton Garcia.
And I'm Meredith Goldstein.
And I'm Carlos Crawford. And today, joining us to talk Buffy Season 5's Into the Woods for its 25th anniversary, he is a therapist and the host of the podcast Pop Therapy.
Hi, my name is Omar Torres. Hello.
Hi, Omar. I'm so glad to have you. We just recorded for your podcast like
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We became best friends, clearly. And
Immediately. Yeah.
we actually talked specifically about Riley. So I was like, after we recorded, I was like, wait, you should come on for Into the Woods because
I was so excited. I am so ready. I am a self-proclaimed Riley apologist, and I am proud of it. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
But before we get into the episode, Omar, do you want to tell us your Buffy origin, how you got into the show?
Yes. My older brother took me to see the movie Buffy when it came out in the 90s, early 90s. And I mean, I've said this to Ian before, but put a woman with superpowers doing karate, I'm in. That's it. That's like all I need to enjoy any piece of pop culture. And so since the movie, I've been a big fan. And then when I realized it was becoming a show, it was just like a very easy, obvious, like, duh moment to,
So did you start the show from the beginning?
I started from the beginning.
Nice.
And I would record it when it was on the WB. I would have my little VHS ready to go. I would time commercial breaks. So I would start hitting the record button about 30 seconds before the commercial ended to make sure that I got like the entire scene. Because, if you hit it too late, you miss like 2 seconds
little
of the
bit,
scene. Yeah. So I clocked that real quick and I was like, not on my watch.
Omar, that's really funny because I've said this a million times, but I don't know that I've said the specifics. I had my dresser where I had jeans ended up being full of Buffy VHS tapes that I taped off the TV. And I actually had versions with the commercials and then versions without the commercials, because then I would try to do it without the commercials, but I had the ones with the commercials in case I messed up the recordings without.
Oh, wow. Well done. Cover all your bases.
I wanted to make sure I could see all of Buffy. We're here to talk Into the Woods. Riley's exit from the show. Before we get into it, what did everyone think revisiting this episode? Meredith, I'm going to start with you. When I texted Meredith recently, I was like, oh, someone commented on her post saying that Buffering had someone who was talking about Riley, and you were like, fuck, I'm going to be known as the Riley apologist.
Yeah, no, I loved watching this episode again, and I feel like this episode is able to hit me differently every time. There are times that I'm furious with Xander. There are times that I have empathy. So it was interesting to have a little bit more of a gap this time since the last time I watched it. But the buffering host had come to town and had me visit with them and did a challenging thing, which they put up all of Buffy's romantic partners and had me rank them.
Oh God!
And by I write an advice column, right? So they're in terms of what's good for her, which is nothing's what's good for anybody. But I found myself landing with Riley at number one and then having to do a really big soul search where I'm like, is this who I am now? What does it all mean? Who am I?
I say this all the time, but people just get too intense about the ships.
They do, and I'm seeing it from afar and from so yeah. I'm evolving. We're all evolving. Yeah.
Zach, what did you think revisiting this?
Well, I've always loved this one, right? It's just I don't know, it's such a dramatic exit for a relationship in a way that isn't Buffy almost getting murdered, right? This is new for her. And I've always remembered this episode being a little slower. And so I was like, okay, it'll be a little slower, but the big payoff at the end. And I don't think so. I really liked it this watch. There's some really long dialogue scenes, but I think they all work because they all say so much. And she's so resistant throughout this entire episode up until the very end.
Yeah.
And it's so real, right? So
yeah. Omar?
I texted you after I watched it and I was like, thank you so much. I'm crying now. So it tugged on all the heartstrings. Similar Meredith. I remember watching this, years ago when it first aired, and me being like, Xander, meh, 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 meh. And then rewatching it now, I remember thinking, oh damn, he is clocking her, and she's not even denying the things he says. She's not even arguing with him. Like, no, that's not true. She's just sort of stunned and in silence, kind of like just like processing it all. But I guess that's sort of like Xander's role, right? That he like sees everything. You know what I mean? So I thought it was like really, really well done. And there was a lot of like attachment theory stuff that I was thinking about when I was watching this episode. So
give me all the therapy. I want to hear all the therapy speak on this.
So my brain was just like going. Yeah, I loved it.
I will say I do think it's a little slow. For me, it still is a little slow, but I still do. That end really hits. I don't know. Buffy, I mean, Zach, we talked about this the other day. Buffy running with like a jacket and her hair looking great is always like a moment. And I feel bad for her. And Zach, I love you. This is not an insult, but Xander and Buffy's discussion reminded me of like me and you. Like I felt like
what part of that? I'm so curious. Well, I guess we'll get to that. But that's okay.
Who's Xander?
I don't know. He's always doing this shit, Meredith. Always.
I said it's not an insult.
We'll see if it's an insult when we get to that section.
But yeah, I don't know. I am so happy to have the three of you because I'm not the biggest Riley fan, but Zach and I end up being like talking about why he's the only one that didn't try to murder her friends.
Right.
The bar is
You don't
very
have to
low.
be the biggest Riley fan, but what is there truly to hate by the time he leaves? Like there's just let him go, let the bird fly.
Also, yes, I think that is a very good point that it was his time to go and he goes. Like you can be mad at him for leaving. You can be mad at him for the way but he exits. He doesn't stay and stalk her. He doesn't try to kill her friends.
Maybe he should have like kicked her in the shin or something. Right. You know, it might have made the shippers a little happier.
And then people would be like, "Oh, he loves her."
Yeah.
But yes, and being of a dead parent experience, Meredith, I feel like you and I can like a little bit like While I do think she did not love him, I also think like she had so much going on. Like let the girl, she didn't need to also deal with a breakup, but I do also think she was done with the relationship. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I from that moment where he says, he knows she's not in love with him for so long, and she does nothing, and she wants to be in love with him, but he has to do the emotional heavy lifting to even get himself dumped. Is to some extent, and maybe not in the best way, but like there is, and it really clears the path for her to focus on what she needs to focus on. Yeah.
Yes, I think also that's important. Like she understandably does have a lot of other shit that she needs to focus on, and like I don't know. At one point in the episode, I didn't even remember this when she like does say he's reliable. And like, we did that in season 3 where that was not a good thing. Like when Willow is like, oh, good, I'm old reliable. Like, great. So we know that that's like, but I do think that's what she thought of him. It's like, well, this is reliable and it's stable. Fucking sure. And I also understand that because like with her mom and with Glory and with Dawn, like all this shit she has, she kind of does need reliable, right?
Spike gives her in season 7 what she was looking for from Riley in season 5.
Yes, I agree. That'll hopefully make some people happy that we said that.
Because when we get to him standing outside of her house, I have notes.
Yeah, same.
Fair enough.
We open on the gang in the hospital, and I know we say this all the time, but like Sarah Michelle Gellar's acting is so good when it comes to like the family shit. She's like petting Dawn's hair and like the worry on her face. I feel so bad for her.
And she looks stunning.
She
in
does.
this scene.
If she's going to be distressed, why not make sure those curls are bouncing and the hoops are in?
Full beat. I mean, and those curls, I remember thinking like, damn, she looks absolutely stunning. Yeah.
And like, even that like cute purpley lavender color looks really good on her. Omar, I really appreciate you as the therapist Also being like Zach and I, where you're like, and her hair looks great, because I always feel like that's what I talk about.
My note is I like in the tank top. It has a little slit.
A little rip. Yeah. Season 5 hair is my favorite hair.
Oh,
yes,
like
it's cute.
by far. Yeah.
Yeah. Meredith, what do you think?
Wait, I want to say a thing, and it's more. This might actually give away one of my choices for later. It was really interesting to watch this again. I've never had this reaction to this episode, where having them wait together felt really quaint and throwbacky. And I'm generationally going through this thing right now, where like when my mom, Ian and I can like talk mom.
And we will.
Mom sad stuff all the time. But truly, like when my mom was sick and I lost her in my 30s, I was still young enough that all of my friends would gather with me and wait with me, or they'd all come over and help me clean, and they'd all come over and do this. Now I'm in my late 40s. Everybody's parents are aging. Everybody's parents have difficulties, and I realized how lucky I was to have like a crew like Buffy at the time, because everybody else's parents seemed okay, like they were thinking about retirement, whatever. So watching this, I was like, wow, a little bit of guilt that I can't show up for everybody at once, right? There's this reciprocal thing I can't do, but also that no one has a cell phone. Like you have to, and Omar, you can probably speak to this, like no one can WebMD. They have to sit with they have to sit with their feelings in this waiting room. And something about Willow asking about the time and them just silently waiting felt very old school, but also like beautiful to me. And it's such a short scene, but I was like, wow, this just wouldn't happen right now in my life, but it also wouldn't happen without nervous scrolls. And so I don't know, like, I don't know why that hit me last night, but I was like, what a moment that wouldn't even seem realistic in 2025.
Yeah.
There's no TikTok there to help you sort of process what's going on.
Or now I'd be like, how long does surgery take? I'd be like, what, like there's nothing. They know
all
nothing.
over the Reddit pages.
Totally.
Usually what they do in this, though, and I'm surprised we didn't get this in this little section, is somebody's got to take a trip to the vending machine. It always happens when they're at the hospital. Also, like, these doctors are very tired of seeing this group at the hospital, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were very tired of seeing our group. When my mom was in the hospital, like they kicked us out at one point, and I got an argument with the nurse because I was like, my mother is dying and you want us all to leave? So like, yeah, I'm sure they were tired of seeing that group. But yeah, so it's wild that like the cutoff for the opening is like, what's he gonna say? And then it's like, everything's good, we're good, great. I'm very charmed by Buffy hugging the doctor so hard that it like hurts.
Yeah. I love those little reminders of like Buffy's really strong. Like don't forget, she's super strong. Yeah.
Also, like I'm just endeared by the fact that like that means she's so happy. Like she's not even thinking of her Slayer strength. She's just like, oh, this is a human reaction, but also like you have super strength, so the doctor's back might hurt.
Right.
And I definitely teared up just seeing Buffy get to be happy, knowing where the rest of this season
surgery
goes.
was a success. We're good. We're good to go. What does Xander say later? Patch her up and send her home.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, you're just gonna have a terrible time after this, Buffy. We cut to Xander's. Anya and Xander are babysitting Dawn. I do kind of love Anya with Dawn. I kind of love.
Well, because they're both kind of juvenile for like different reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, when Dawn's like, oh, I used to chase her around knowing I'm a vampire. And she's like, that's disturbing.
She's the only one that's going to talk to Dawn straight anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, you're going to be emotionally scarred for life. So,
because also, it's not like Dawn is 10 and they're talking about having sex.
Right. She's 3 months old.
Right. Well, right. But like, she's an old enough teenager to like know people have sex. Like,
right. She calls it boinking.
Right.
Or doinking or boink. I
think it was boinking.
I think it was boinking. Yeah.
I love the callback to Anya winning at the Game of Life because very good.
I love that she tries to up the ante with like, okay, fine, we'll use real money. Fine, twist my arm. We can use real money this time.
And when Xander's like, we could have her drink too, and she's like, schnapps is very good.
she came up with a plan. She's very.
She's trying. Yeah, she's trying to keep her busy. When Xander's like, no, they're not having sex there, and Anya's like, he's not very convincing. Yeah. I am curious. I have even been someone who talks about this. I know this episode is a little bit reconciling sometimes the way Xander talks to Anya. And I don't know. I always go back and forth because sometimes I don't like the way he talks to her, but then sometimes I'm reminded she is newly human and strangely literal, like she says in the episode. And it's not like in a nasty way. It's in a like, oh, like we don't say that in front of people.
Most of the time it's like, it is backhanded a lot of times. Like he does a lot of backhanded speak to her, and
but like here, when he's like trying to be like, don't talk to the child about her sister having sex. Like, while Dawn is clearly old enough, I do also understand from an adult perspective, like, maybe I don't want to talk about that in front of her.
Yeah.
So I don't know, things like that where he's like trying to work around it.
He's much softer in this episode. There's not a whole lot to complain about with Xander in this one.
Yeah.
Which is rare, so rare.
Let's enjoy it while we have it, baby.
I'm going to make Ashley make that the clip that we post for this episode, you just saying that, and see how mad everyone gets. Love the chimp playing hockey bit and Anya being excited about it.
I just want to follow her for a day, right? Like, what does she choose to do in her day?
Because I feel like she would be very easily distracted.
She loves Disney on Ice. I know it, you know?
Oh, for sure. and back to the point Meredith made earlier, there was something so quaint about them looking up movie times in the newspaper. And I was like, yeah,
nice.
Right.
Do you remember?
That's
It's
right.
so cool.
It's like legacy media just living.
Yeah.
As we get farther and farther away,
Yep.
we get Buffy and Riley being intimate. They really like up it in this scene, like the lighting in the house, the like music playing. But I am curious what our relationship columnist, expert, and therapist think of Riley mentioning, like Riley getting upset because he doesn't think she cried, and she says she did.
I defer to the expert here.
So I didn't read it as him necessarily being like angry with her, but being like blindsided a little bit, like shocked, right? He had it in his mind that she didn't cry at all. And then, she kind of like reveals this it's not a big secret, but she reveals this part of herself in this sort of like vicarious way because she didn't do it in front of him. And I can understand why he was sort of like, wait, what? So I'm assessing this all wrong is sort of how I understood his reaction, realizing like, oh, I did not know what was going on with my girlfriend, actually.
So yes, I don't mean that he was mad, but I mean more like a little bit, I think like blindsided in a hurt way. Like where he's like, Meredith, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I this is such great narrative setup for the end of just like whatever journey she's on is not a partnered one. Like they're not partners, and she doesn't want that. And I do think I'm watching this episode again. I'm like, this is a man who's like ready to husband it up. Like he this time around I didn't read it as judgment or blame, just more accept. You watch him accepting so much throughout this of like, you know, it's not her fault. There's nothing wrong with having that cry at the sink to whatever music was playing.
Oh my God.
but also like he's not on that journey.
Yeah. I just like Meredith. What advice would you give if someone wrote into your column about specifically this? I mean, which is a sentence I'm going to say a lot this episode.
And it's so hard. And I'm excited that Omar's here because we talk about attachment theories. I as a journalist advice columnist with no mental health training whatsoever. Let me be very clear. A lot of people write in and will be like, I am anxious attachment. Like they're saying like, I am a Virgo, right? And it's like not, I'm like forever with everyone. It's like a very, I think that must be like a TikTok thing of like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a, you know, right. And I'm like, it's all, and so I'm excited to hear you talk about that, just that Buffy's relationships with different people. She's all sorts of things with different people. Yeah. But you know, if Riley's writing in, like, it's hard to know, especially at that age. Like when you think about it, you're like, okay, like true. But it's more about like, what do you want? Like, I don't know if I'm Riley, I don't know what's happening in Buffy's head, but like, you want to be partnered or not, and you're not going to get that, and there's nothing wrong. But I would also probably say that sometimes people cry and don't talk about it. And sometimes people don't think to be like, oh, did I tell you the other day I was so bummed and you missed all these emotions I had? Like, that's not healthy for a partnership either. So, you know, it's always hard when somebody writes in like 400 words and I'm making a guess. But yeah, it's like, it just shows what he wants so much. He's like ready.
I do think you're right that like Buffy in general is not someone who's going to say, oh yeah, I cried a lot yesterday, or like, oh yeah, when I was by myself, I was crying doing the dishes. Like she's not telling people that.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know that I would either. Like I might tell my therapist, but I don't know that it makes I don't think the other person reports back.
Oh, I text Zach and Kim immediately when
You're like, I just cried. I'm letting you know. I mean,
You're currently crying. It's always currently crying.
Yeah.
Over the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
I would have recommended that Riley in that moment would ask her or would say like, well, tell me more, right? Like if he wants in on her processing and like what's going on emotionally, internally, to like then keep asking questions, right? Be a little bit more curious about like, oh wow, like you cried so much, like tell me more about that. What was that like for you? What can I do? How did you feel it in your body? Like there's so many follow-up questions that he could have asked that I would have encouraged him to ask instead of kind of like shutting down a little bit, and not in like a withholding way, but I think he was sort of like in shock and then like froze, was paralyzed by this information. And I would have said like, no, like warm up to this. She is giving you a little bit here. It's maybe not exactly what you wanted in the form you wanted, but this is a good segue into what you're looking for, which is like more vulnerability from her.
You bring up such a good point, because if it had been Willow, let's say, I think Willow might have said, what was the moment, right?
Yeah.
Because it's also like you wonder when somebody's going through everything, what is the moment? Of course, it's like maybe doing dishes, or maybe it's like this totally unrelated moment when you finally have 1 second.
Yeah.
I think a friend who knows her incredibly well and didn't have a relationship hanging in the balance probably would have been like, oh my God, what did it? Like, what is, even joking, what does it even look like? Did it feel better after?
Right.
What is that? What is it? Yeah.
Meredith,
what a great point.
That is such a good point, that like, because there's a lot of like reframing of Willow as like the worst friend in the world, and I do not think that is true.
What?
No.
No.
Oh my.
And I do think you're right that Willow would have been like, let's sit down. Like, do you want to talk more about it?
And she would have, just like Meredith said, she didn't really have a relationship hanging in the balance. And I think the interesting part is that we find Riley in a very specific mindset in this very particular episode, right? Where I don't think it is in his head to ask follow-up questions, because I think the actor is doing a fantastic job in this episode, because you see him just internally processing constantly, that I think he's doing so much internal processing of like every little moment that he's spending with her, even the moments he's not spending with her, that the thought isn't even there to ask another question, right?
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that feeling that he knows the relationship's going to the end already, right? And he's almost like processing, well, what does that look like? Or, how will it end, more than like, oh, will it end?
I think that's a really good point too, Zach. Like the whole episode is scenes from a breakup, right? He knows this entire episode that they have imploded, and that he kind of knows there's no saving it, I think, by this point. And he's just kind of waiting for it to end. That's why the army guys serve as like a catalyst to be like, great, this is how it ends. I'm gonna go. But so they have sex, and Zach, who's standing outside our house looking in the window.
Spike, always Spike. He's just always out there with a cigarette. I want to know, like, does anybody have to pick up cigarette butts from around that tree, or does he do that himself? Is he courteous enough to do that? Creepy though, and Riley, I don't know, because he doesn't really give her moment that she needs to just like be there and be supportive, right? Because he does get up in the middle of the night, but she's asleep, so she doesn't really like notice it. So at least she got that little bit of comfort in the moment, even though because she's not recognizing that he's spiraling in his head. Spike, the nasty little bitch that he is, like follows Riley and uses it for her own sort of manipulative intentions.
Yes. As a lot of the men on this show often do, where it's like,
of course,
at face value, she does need to know this, but like the reasons are not.
The reason is not noble.
No. And like, I will not accept the reframing of this as noble, because like, it's not good to stand outside someone's house and look in their window when they're having sex. Like that is right.
He's also soulless. Hello.
Yes.
He doesn't have a soul. So
Joyce, we cut to Joyce. This is a cute mother-daughter scene, I think. I feel like Meredith, we probably had conversations like this with our mom. You know what I mean? My mom would be like, ugh, my hair looks like, I remember seeing my mom in the ICU and her first being like, oh, my hair looks so bad. And that was like what she was upset about, was that her hair looked bad.
Yeah, it's a great scene. And it's just so like, ugh, like seeing her eyes grieve. It's a great scene.
Yeah, it's so good. And I really liked that even Joyce is like, Riley doesn't see you as what are you talking about? But like her mother knows that this man is like madly in love with her. And her mother is kind of like, you don't like him that much, do you? Like,
yeah. And Buffy even says at one point, I can see him anytime. Which is what Xander references later on about
taking it for granted.
Taking it for granted. Exactly.
Yeah. And like, again, this isn't, we all love Buffy here too, because it's just that she didn't love him like that. And that is okay. There is nothing wrong with like, I'm not on the same page as you, in a relation. That's why people break up, right? It doesn't have to be, like you said, Zach, doesn't have to be her almost dying for it to be a breakup. That is better TV, but that's not how every breakup. I remember one of my exes dumped me in bed and I was like, okay. And he got mad at me because
I don't know if that would have filled out a 49-minute, episode segment.
But like, I remember he was like, do you need me to leave? And I was like, no. Because I was going to break up with him and I didn't care. And we had sex and then it was fine. Like, it just like didn't matter. And I feel almost like that's how Buffy is in this episode. Like, all right, whatever. Joyce, I do like the Bible study line when Buffy's like, we can have Bible study anytime we want.
So funny.
And Joyce like keeping up with the metaphor.
Yeah, yes, ending her. As long as you're close with the Lord.
The Lord.
Sure.
We get the army dudes going to Riley. They talk, or we get the army dudes.
What are they called now? Do they have a name?
Just army? Is it like generic
They
army?
are going to army. They are going to army.
They're going
like,
to army.
He even says like, we're not the initiative anymore, but they're like, to be named later.
I would like a name though, a little special forces, Sunnydale Special Forces at least.
It does feel like that's like, okay, but the army doesn't hunt demons. So like, is there a name? But I think they do that just to like instill that it is not the initiative. That's like the important
We're just supposed to remember that one man's face.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like they throw in that guy because maybe the actor who plays Graham isn't the best, and they're like, well, we need a familiar face, but we need an actor, so let's get both these guys. No hate to that man. He's hot. So.
I was just gonna say, how dare you?
Yeah, he's like an Abercrombie model or something. I feel like he was, right? Or I don't know.
Maybe.
He might have been, yeah.
So at the Summers home, Spike shows up in her bedroom in the middle of the night while she's asleep, asks her if she's naked under their covers. A lot of bad things happening that Meredith and Omar, I want to hear you both talk about.
Meredith, take it away.
I mean, this is such a low-key Xander Spike evolution. Like it was interesting. Now I'm an apologist for everyone in this episode because I was like, in some ways he's always, for a guy with no soul, he's so perceptive, right? And sees these things, and the conversation with Riley later proves this, right? Of like, but also in this moment, there's like a lesson learned throughout this narrative of like, I am doing it, I'm doing this thing, and it's going to work out in my favor, and like, he should know better. And I was thinking, what are the ways he could have told her without it being like this? He's not a narrator to her that matters. So like he'd have to show her. But I loved it. I mean, it's terrible behavior in the bedroom and all of that, but I loved to watch him learn this lesson from start to finish in this episode.
Wait, what lesson do you think he's learning?
Well, I think when he sees how she reacts to it later, it's like in real time, oh, that maybe this isn't going to work out well for now. I am associated with this thing, and I'm a kind of a narc in the wrong way, and this felt malicious to her, and like maybe no one else read it that way, but later when she has these responses, he's like, oh, actually, this may not win me a point. This may now just, there was probably another way for me to do this. But maybe I'm seeing what I want to see, but I saw some empathy where it's like, now I have caused this woman I care about more pain, and I hadn't played that out. That's my take, and maybe it's too forgiving.
I can buy that take though. I can buy it, but while also just tacking on my own sort of like, he's already probably scheming onto the next way to win her heart right after that, right? However that may be. So.
I can buy that because his acting is a little shitty that whole time until she walks away, and then he's like, "Fuck!" Like,
yeah, like, yeah.
It doesn't feel nice to hurt somebody's feelings, and I think he feels that, you know.
Yes, yes. Because soulless or not, he does care about her. Omar, what'd you think?
I think to Meredith's point, you know, the source matters, right? So if you've ever tried to kill me and you find out my boyfriend's cheating on me, you don't need to tell me shit. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it from you. Like, I'm going to be mad at you. So
if you've tried to kill me.
So no, we're good. Thank you. I mean, you know, obviously it's creepy and it's like very stalkery, predatory. He is a predator, right? Like he is a vampire. So I think that that's the only way he knows how to relate to other people is in this predatory way because he's a vampire. You do notice these moments where his eyes kind of like bulge out a little bit when he realizes, oh, this isn't winning me any points. And I thought that was subtle and really well done. And it's sort of like you know, the whole point of like the point of the vampires on the show is to sort of represent the never growing up aspect, right? Like the whole show is about Buffy growing up. Vampires literally can't grow up. So it makes sense that Spike would think, oh, if I do this, it'll win me points. It's like a very rudimentary, like juvenile way. It's very like just like simplistic way of looking at building and cultivating a relationship.
That's fair. Yeah. They go to the vamp's nest, walk in on Riley saying harder to the vampire who is fighting him.
This is our cheating scenario. We've entered the cheating metaphor.
And the drug, but also more drug den like than
100%.
Remembered, where I was like, what's the, whenever they go for, it's like drugs, I'm like, oh no, no
but
matter what.
But then she uses whore later, so that's like the brothel sort of like.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's like that fun.
Is it sex or is it drugs? It's both.
Yeah. A little of both.
Yeah.
That's why, I don't know, that is why I go back and forth whether it's, I don't know, the word cheating, I don't know that it is bad. He is doing this for bad reasons, but I'm like, but is it cheating?
Why
this is their metaphorical way of doing it, though. Why is his shirt off? Is the question. Maybe we should have paused to ask questions before.
No, this time I'm like, they obviously wanted to seem like a cheat, but they also wanted to seem like drugs. And she's not even really. Maybe he just doesn't want to get dirty.
Sure, to get blood on his shirt.
Yeah,
fair enough. I agree. I wouldn't call it cheating. I would call it a violation of a boundary or a violation of like that's a core tenet of the relationship. And so I'll give them that it's definitely a violation or a betrayal of some, whether like spoken or unspoken understanding and like rule about within the relationship.
Right. Like it is like, oh, my girlfriend kills these people.
Right.
So
I don't think she's gonna like this. So
yeah, like either way, it's like capital N not good.
Right.
But I just like I like struggle with where to categorize the not goodness. I teach writing. What are words? They all run out, everyone runs out. That's when we get the Spike moment when he's like, I thought you should know. And I do like Sarah Michelle Gellar does like a very specific pissed off Buffy really well in this episode, because it's not the type of pissed off where it's like she's empowered to go fight the demon, she's gonna fight with Willow. This is like so different and unlike a pissed off Buffy we have seen before. So she says nothing. She just looks at him, walks, and we see her walk into her room and kind of just like do the like 1,000-yard stare that Sarah Michelle Gellar does so well. So yeah, I was thinking about that a lot watching the episode this time, of how different this version of her anger is. And I think it's almost because her feelings are mixed on it too, right? Like, I think she's not quite sure where to place her anger and like what specifically, not that she is fully justified, but like, I think it's just like, it's a little confusing in her head. And also she has 500 fucking things going on that are not about this. Right?
Yeah, this is extra energy to process all this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she has that energy right now.
And understandable. Important to note, Spike does say to Riley, we only came because we care about you.
Oh, that's right.
Which, oof. Riley fights one of the vamps and he goes home to his army pals. They tell him about going to Belize. They're leaving that night, I think, or the next day. I don't know.
Or
Next night.
The
Next
next,
night.
yeah.
We go to the Magic Box.
Happy holidays for everyone.
Yes, I don't think I realized till like we went through this episode for the podcast that this episode is explicitly taking place when it aired, which was December like 19th or 20th. Yeah. Because I like that it's like a subtle thing, and I like that it is Happy Holidays and it has like all the different shit. I do.
Yeah.
Wait, it took place during Gunther's Ascendance? What is that one? I'm like, what is that one? I love that one. But I'm like, the real time of year, I love all their stuff
Yes.
on that one.
I kind of wish they would have done that more often. Like I love a like subtle hint at like when this is, kind of like the arguments of like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Because it does take place.
I wish we had more of the Christmas
yeah.
episodes, or like not even Christmas, just holiday episodes in general from them. I think it would have Buffy fighting Krampus would have been phenomenal.
Oh my God.
Write that episode, please.
Well, she also never gets a good holiday season, right? Like Angel's all dramatic, or we get the holiday flashback and then her mom's dead.
Right.
Thanksgiving.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Never,
For a
ever.
holiday. Give her a holiday, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we need a fight because it's a Buffy episode, but like have the fight be like, oh, she just sees some vamps, but like at home they're just like chilling, drinking
I could do
eggnog.
a New Year's fight. She gets like a good Christmas, and then New Year's comes the battle.
Yeah. The Willow and Anya argument here is so good, and I forgot it was in this episode.
Me too.
It's so beautifully set. Isn't Triangle
Yeah.
next?
Yep.
So it's like, it's such a preview. It's wonderful.
And Anya's iconic line of like newly human and strangely literal is like, that's one of my favorite Anya lines. And I love Willow being like, no, because no one talks like that. And Willow is being an asshole here.
Yes.
I love Willow.
She's not giving her, making it easier for anyone, or what's the like giving herself any favors. Yeah, by just being like, yeah, you sound nuts.
And I like, I mean, I like that it's setting up, like you said, Meredith, the next episode. I like the like through line of Willow really never really likes Anya. It's like after Triangle, she kind of like tolerates her, right? She learns that like this person is going to be here. I'm going to have to deal with it. Sure. Still doesn't love her.
The more mature way of doing it too, because you don't have to fuck with everybody,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I also keep forgetting that Anya like kind of also betrayed Willow like in high school, right? Like during the Wish episode. Like that was no. Sorry, not the Wish episode. When she's trying to get her amulet. Yes. Yeah. And I keep forgetting that. I'm like, oh, Willow does have kind of a reason to be like, I'm pissed at
That was
you
the
about
old
that.
her. That's not the new Anya.
Right.
Omar, it's funny because when I watch the show, that would annoy me, and the fact that they were also mean to Spike would annoy me. And as an adult and going through it for the podcast, I'm like, oh wait, they all have reason.
There's context to all of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has personally tried to murder every one of them, so like,
Yeah.
I also would not like a person who tried to murder me.
Yeah. Please go away. If you tried to kill me, leave me alone. Yeah.
Buffy storms in mad. And again, this is like, and she's so mean with everyone when she's like, I'm fucking going. Like, I don't care if you're going. I'm going to do it. And gets mad at Giles because she's like, you knew these things were happening. And it's very clearly personal. And Zach, I think it was an episode we did earlier in the season.
It was, yeah.
Yes, when Giles tells Riley, when she gets her mind set on something, there is no convincing her otherwise.
Mhm.
And I feel like Giles applies that here, where he just kind of lets her be mad and is like, okay, we'll go with you. It's fine.
Well, and it's kind of that sort of thing where this is where the show plays fast and loose with, do we kill all monsters? Which monsters are good? Which monsters are allowed to pass? And like, are these monsters actually hurting anybody? And Giles is saying, this is not where we spend our energy here, right? Like, kind of let them go. Whereas, like, we've heard it plenty of times in the past. He's like, kill all the vamps, like stick them all in.
This also felt drug addiction critiquey as well, of like a thing you don't want to hear people say, of like, well, they decided to do that behavior. And I don't know, like that felt weirder to me, where I'm like, well, they went in there, and I was like, I don't know, what's the metaphor again? Because now I'm worried that your Giles is bad. I don't know. It's like, stop doing that metaphor.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get there in season 6. We don't need to do that right now, please.
Save it for later when you're going to do it really well, I'm sure. Right.
It'll be really strong. Won't fall apart by the next season. So yeah, they go there and it has been emptied out because we saw that that Vamp was mad that Riley brought the Slayer there. It is weird that, like, only that one vampire really reacts to Buffy even being there. Everyone else is kind of like, there's a Slayer. Weird.
Right.
And man, Buffy burning down the place is like so unlike Buffy, and I kind of love it.
Yeah. She gets to have her moments, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I love that they don't know what's going on. Like again, Buffy not telling someone, oh, I was really upset last night. She's just like mad and throws a fire, burns the place down, and they're all kind of like, okay.
It is just really, it is a darker moment for her also, because had they been there, she was going in to kill them all. She was going in to like set the whole house on fire with them in it.
Yeah.
And like, what if there still had been a human? And also last night, for the first time in my entire life, I was like, what are the other properties around it? Is she causing like...
The shared walls. It is next door to the magic box. It's right there.
like keep it away. I'm like concerned about fire safety. And yeah.
100%. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. I'm like, you can literally scorched earth approach. Like, you can take down all of Sunnydale.
Yeah.
See, I
just
haven't.
one block.
She started California wildfire.
Yeah.
Like, Spike, we cut to Spike in his crypt. I really like the scene of Spike and Riley. I don't know what, one, I read a lot of fanfic about this specific scene back in the day. It all came flooding back as I was watching him stake Spike, and I was like, oh, right, I've read about this. And I don't know. There's something that I love about them both being like, yeah, she doesn't love me. Yeah, she doesn't love me either. Let's have a drink. I still fucking hate you, but...
Well, it's this scene and then the scene with her and Xander are the two, like, let me tell you what the outsider is seeing and what you know, but you need to hear it out loud.
Yes. And that's... And Meredith, one of you mentioned, Spike is so perceptive, so he isn't incorrect in what he's saying, and I forgot about the fact that he knows she doesn't love him, and he says, no, she doesn't, but a guy's got to try.
I love the I don't know which is worse, to be so close to being loved by her or just being kind of her, like Spike, and him thinking about that with himself, and because it speaks to, later a bit of like, how close do I want to get if I know I can't be all encompassing. I love that nuance.
Yeah.
Question.
And they also kind of have good chemistry.
Agreed.
Agreed.
More chemistry in that scene than like the slow dance where I was like, I don't want this anymore. With Buffy and Riley.
I know. I was watching that scene and I was like, was it getting hot in here? I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Yeah.
And, Spike says, which is correct, girl needs a monster in her man. Like, it just, I love when Spike and Anya and Cordelia get to be the voice of, like, they are these, like, very big characters, but they often are the correct ones. And
with a big eye roll attached, and that's what makes it better. It's like, what are we doing? This has taken 3 episodes as they're watching from their television sets.
I did have a question, and maybe psychologically, Omar, you can speak to this, is like, Riley gives this reasoning later about what he was getting from that experience. But to me, when Spike says she wants a monster in her man, I think that was also a little bit what he was doing with the blood stuff. Like, I felt like he was trying to be cool, broody guy who has emotional problems and is hard to reach, not just about being needed, but also that he was trying to be super cool. He was trying to be a leather jacket guy. And so when Spike says this to him, I almost felt like Riley was thinking, don't you see?
Yeah, that's a really, and in fact, Spike says she needs a little monster in her man, and that's not you, no matter how low you try to go. So Spike clocks Riley. Not only does he realize, like, oh, Buffy doesn't love you, he also notices what Riley is trying to do. And he's like, sorry, it's not going to work. Like, it's just not in your nature. And that was even more impressive to me, because I'm like, you're stalking Buffy and like studying all the time. So like, so fine, you have all these takes on Buffy, but the fact that he was able to notice that from Riley, I was like, damn.
He has his little Harry the Spy notebook. He is writing down and making notes. He's again, perceptive.
Call. Yeah.
A great sort of thing on Riley in this, giving him all the credit here, is that yes, that is what he was doing before, and Spike is clocking it now. But once he like kind of hears it out loud and hears how ridiculous that is, and that's just not him, it's great on him that he's not then trying to push himself onto the dark side,
Yes.
and he accepts that he is who he is, and he is going to go out and go where he is best served, right, or where he serves best.
Yes, where he is actually needed and wanted.
Because anybody else might have just been like, let me get into the dark magics and show her that. Let me try to kill all her friends and I can show her that I'm a baddie. Yeah. Riley's not like, you know what? Maybe I'm not a baddie. Maybe let me go back to the Midwest to eat some corn or something.
And I just love the moment of ain't love grand and tossing the ball. Like, that's really good. We go to the magic box. Buffy is punching a punching bag, taking out some aggression. Xander is telling Anya about what happened. Riley storms in, says he needs some alone time. And I love Anya being like, ooh, some hanky-panky for you. Like, she's like very happy for them. She's like, yeah, you guys have your sex in the back room.
Very sex positive.
Yeah.
Very sex positive. I love that. Yeah.
Because I always say, like, even though I don't get laid, I'm always like, I want all my friends to have good sex. Everyone deserves good sex. Like, there's no one, unless I don't like you, that I think should not be having good sex. So I'm a little bit like, yeah, kids, have your sex. Do you need a condom?
A man of the people, Ian, a man of the people.
And this is the only spot where Xander is like a little shrug offy with Anya, but is it because he wants to talk to Buffy? Is that what it is?
I thought it was like a narrative writing trick to make the end land incredibly well.
That's
for
what
him
I thought.
like for him to be like, just bad enough so that he can have a real as I'm giving Buffy the speech, I better fix my behavior right this second. So to me, it almost felt like a little bit manipulative in the writing, but I buy it because everybody's annoyed and
Yeah, I feel like Willow and Tara are the only ones having a good time during this. They're not.
Where are they?
Yeah,
I would like to see what's going on with the lesbians.
They're doing some spells. So Riley goes into the room, and I know a lot of fans really hate this. This moment is a moment they really hate. I like it because I don't think either one is particularly wrong.
It's so fascinating. This one's really good. Again, these long conversations that we're having. We have Spike and Riley, then we have Buffy and Riley, and then we have Xander and Buffy, and just bookending their conversation together, and then they never get to have their I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Here's what I can do for that. That never happens. It's so unresolved and so open-ended until always. It never gets resolved. And it's just a brilliant setup of 3 different conversations here. And I think this one is so fascinating. I have so many notes on this one.
Yeah. I everything everyone says here, I kept being like, oh, well, he's not wrong. Oh, well, she's not wrong. Oh, like, I can see her point of view. I can see his point of view. And I really do think that is showing you that they need to break up, right? The fact that they are both making good points that are not wrong, are not nasty, but there's no reconciling the fact that they're both right. Like, I just don't think Meredith, right? I don't know what you think, but like, I don't think there would be a way that this could work at this point.
No. I mean, there's a different version of this conversation that is friendlier and we both have the thing that what I don't like about the fandom or anti-fandom of Riley, what I feel is a reductive idea that Riley couldn't handle that she was powerful. And she actually says it. I always say to people like, well, wait a minute, though. There are moments where he is so proud of how strong she is, where we see him look at Maggie Walsh. And I don't know if you've talked about this on episodes before. If so, I've missed it. But when I just watched Stranger Things and Linda Hamilton turns around, I'm like, Maggie Walsh?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Totally.
I was like, oh, my gosh, Professor Walsh. But
the hair's there.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And very initiative. But where's the tinfoil? But I feel like there is a part of the fandom that feels like he couldn't deal with her power, and I don't find that to be true. So when she says that you couldn't handle it, and he says like, sure, there is a part of me that felt a little threatened by it. I loved that so much because even I wasn't thinking that for him. It's just like anybody would be, but that's not it.
Yeah.
And that's not the main thing. And so I loved all of this because they've both probably been thinking about it, and Riley's been thinking about it, but he hasn't worked it out yet. It takes them the whole conversation. The only thing that is hard to watch for me is the ending of the Just Hit Me. And because I would love to know what everybody else thinks about, like, it's just so bad at that point, but I don't that's not even what it is, but or is it a critique of like this is the only way he knows that she knows how to deal? Is it that he's so guilty about the blood sucking? I that's the only part that felt to me of like, oh, like there's so much on the table. Maybe this was the only way to end this
That
conversation.
felt more like a weird writing thing that they just tacked on
right.
to like bring in like the superpowers or something like that. But also like in conversations, you can have those moments of breakthrough where you are, you are saying the things that you need to say and you're doing it in the correct way, but then you have that little regressive moment, right, where you do say something wrong, I guess. But like hit me is just one of those.
I mean, it is maybe what he knows, but maybe it's also what he's saying is, can you please break up with me? Because I don't want to have to do this.
I think that
I don't want to have to be the dumper. And so maybe what I should hear it as is like, please do this.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to break up with her. He does love her. He does want to stay with her. And he doesn't want to have to be the one to do it. And so he's like holding out as much as he can to do this little army gig, right? And he's like pushing it to the last moment. And to your point, like I think him being bothered by her strength is such a season 4 problem that like by here, that's not the thing. And he even admits, again, yeah, a part of me at one point, but that's not it right now. Please, like, hear what I'm saying. And this is where this conversation is so frustrating and so sad, right? Is because they've been having these missed connections this entire time, right?
Yeah.
Where she has been in moments where she's like, open up to me, talk to me, like, let's work through some of these things that you have. Finally, he's doing that, and she's not in that headspace.
Right.
She's scorched earth, burning down buildings, punching bags, and she's not ready to have that conversation, right? And so they never get to do that. They never get to come at it on that same level and hear each other out. Because like you said earlier, Ian, they're both saying things, but they're talking at each other rather than with each other. And neither of them are really wrong, right? Like he's saying, well, I mean, in essence, you're taking me for granted, and like, I feel like I'm not getting any part of you. And she's like, you're getting all of me. What are you talking about? Super dismissive, rather than like, she knows he's right. She knows that's true. But at the same time, right now, why does she need to be putting in this energy for this, right? She's got a lot going on and she shouldn't have to.
Yes.
And like when she says later with Xander, it's not fair that I should have to go and chase him, right? Like I have a lot going on. And he's like, well, that's not fair, but this is what he needs. He wants to know that this gesture is pointing to something, or I don't know. And it's just a very sad conversation.
It really is. And like
I'm like yelling at both of them.
Yes.
Like let's push Army Day off one more day, because I feel like tomorrow we could have a good conversation.
And go to couples therapy and work it out.
Give Omar a call and like
if you don't mind. So and I don't know what the writers were thinking when they wrote in the hit me thing. It does remind me of instances where the person that feels disconnected from their partner is sort of like, show me any emotion. I'll take anything. So if you won't show me vulnerability in terms of like love or understanding, then give me anger. And there are folks that I've met that in a weird bid for connection, they're like, I'll take any emotion that you got because you're so closed off to me, which is obviously not a healthy way of going about it.
But I get it. You're directing something
at me. But I get it. Yes, I'll take anything. Right. Yeah. If it's anger, at least I am the recipient of that like really intense emotion. It was to me, Riley was giving Carrie Bradshaw in the series finale to Petrovsky when she's like, I am looking for love, real, inconvenient, can't live without you love. And I was like, oh, Riley is totally Carrie right now. And I mean, Buffy's not quite Petrovsky, but just like begging for her to open up and begging for like the messy kind of love. And
but like, maybe she is.
Maybe she,
at least she didn't give the little swat to the face. Right?
Yes, because Petrovsky does say also in that episode, like, this is me. Like, I thought you signed up for this, and I thought you knew what you were getting. And Buffy's does something similar. She's like, this is it. This is what you're gonna get.
And I feel like he says, I don't even think I put a note about it, but he says, you didn't even call me when your mom was sick. And I need to say, as someone who has been there, I actually do. I have even been annoyed at him for this on the podcast before, but I do the moment my mom went in the hospital, I like called Kim and Zach. Like for me, it's like I do think of the most important people who will be like able to console me. And like, you know, I don't have a boyfriend or husband or whatever. So it's like my best friends are the most important. And so I do understand why he's like, you didn't tell me your mom was sick.
On the opposite end, I'm very opposite from me, and where I don't think I would tell anybody, and the only person I would tell is my husband because he's my husband. But if I didn't have him, I don't think I would tell anybody. So I also see that closed offness from her in that's just, I don't know, other people's emotions onto me in a moment like that is not something I want, you know? And so I can see that from her.
But you even just said you would tell your husband right away. And that, like, I mean, not that they're married.
Because he's in my damn house, right? Like, I would prefer him not to like put his hand on me and say, I'm sorry. Or I don't want that. I want to be very like disconnected in that moment. And I do think that she, in certain moments that she can't control, when she can't go out and slay a demon, she disconnects and she has to like.
She does.
Bury the wall.
Can this be where I ask about attachment styles? Because Zach, I think I'm a bit like you also in that one reason I think
be like, how are you two friends?
No, because I
it works
feel,
somehow. I don't know.
No, but I also feel like there is a for as Ian-esque as I am, I say that with love to us both, there is also a part of me that when my mom was sick, I often didn't tell my very best friend how bad it was because she looked at me and I could see myself in her. It was almost like I was protecting myself because I could break down with her. And also I would see how severe it was. Like to look at my friend Jess, like I'm looking at reality in myself. And so there were moments where I was like, wow, it is because of this intense intimacy between the two of us that I cannot talk to her about this right now. And I got to wait until I have that moment. But I wonder about, the avoidance of that. And I also wonder about, like, when we talk about attachment styles and people just throw it around, Omar, like when you look at this, what are you seeing?
So you mentioned this earlier, like attachment styles are really neat categories and everyone often occupies each category depending on the relationship, depending on like where you are in your life. So no one like fits one thing perfectly. And so take all of that with like a grain of salt. But yes, if I had to put them in a category, this is definitely like the classic pursuer withdrawer sort of cat and mouse kind of like dynamic here, where someone is asking, I want to be closer, I want to be closer, I want to be closer, and the other person's like, get away, like I can't, this is stifling, or this is uncomfortable, or this is overwhelming. And it reminds me of like the classic avoidant anxious sort of pursuer withdrawer.
I have like 4 things to add into this to what Zach said though, and what Meredith said, because
Stewing.
I also would tell Zach over Kim because Zach did not know my mom. So it was like easier for me to tell Zach than it was to tell Kim. And this is nothing bad about Kim. It's just kind of what you said, Meredith, where it's like, I knew that it would make Kim cry and I could not handle me making someone else cry with my thing that I was crying about. So like Zach, it was way easier to talk to Zach. And again, Kim, I love you if you're listening. It's just like, because she knew my mom, she grew up with my mom, she considered my mom her other mom. And that made it harder for me to want to talk to her about it, just because, not that Kim would ever make it about herself. She did not once, but I knew that she was, not to say you didn't care, Zach, but you know what I mean? Like you didn't know my mom
I fully
personally.
get it. Yeah.
And so it made it harder because I'd be like, well, she's going to cry. And I don't want her to cry too, because I just...
And sometimes you just need to survive a situation just for the moment, right? Like this is, and you have other things to say. So I'll make this quick, but like, this is all happening in this episode within days, right? She has just barely been told maybe we're out of the woods, right? Had this been a little bit longer, she probably would have opened up to him a little bit, given herself the space to do that. But that is not what she needed right now. It's exactly what you're saying. Is she didn't want to feel all these emotions at this moment, right? She just needed to be out of the woods, kind of breathe, be relieved, and then that would progress how it progress.
Which I think is totally fair. Like I use terminology like anxiously attached or avoidant, not as a pejorative, but just as a like, oh, this is how you're relating to the moment. This is how you're meeting the moment right now. And maybe you're really overwhelmed. And some people manage feeling super overwhelmed in different ways. Like I think for Buffy it was, I need a minute. I need to like chill. I mean, she says it herself also. I think there's an element to, I have to be on top of everything.
Yeah. And she does. And that.
Right. And so, and, you know, for Riley, when he's feeling overwhelmed, it's much more like, well, I want to be closer to you. That's how I manage my own symptoms.
But so my other point to like Riley saying she didn't tell him, I feel like all of y'all, I would agree with you, but everyone else knew. Everyone knew before Spike knew before he did. So like, that's where I'm like, but no, that would hurt my feelings no matter what. That would hurt my feelings if Zach told everyone but me as like a
Which
friend.
Which episode
like,
is it though? Because they do address that, right? That like there was a moment that she didn't tell him a specific
Spike
something.
tells Riley. Spike is like, oh, she didn't tell you?
Oh, yeah.
And
Which
so
episode
like,
was that?
I think Shadow or Fear
Was
or
it
Listening to
Shadow?
Fear.
Okay.
One of those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, like that's where I go with that because I would
I
understand.
agree with that.
Like, I've even told you that. Like, I know there's things that you would not tell me. Like, I fully am like, but like, if like a random friend texts me that like a random mutual friend and was like telling me something like very important that happened to you. And I was like, wait, what? Why do you know? And I don't know. Like, that would hurt my feelings. Like, and so that's why Riley, as her boyfriend, I do understand why he would be even more hurt to be like, fucking Spike told me. Are you kidding me? Like, that's where I do understand. I would understand if it was like, her sister knows, that's it. She cannot deal with telling anyone, but everyone else knows.
I fully understand him feeling that way as well, but there is something like really interesting that happens with people, because I know that this has happened with me, is that maybe somebody does get left out of the telling or is not privy to this information or that information, and you as the person who should have told them didn't even think to, because things are kind of, moments are just moving from moment to moment, and then, you know, some people just figure out, or you tell some people, but you're not like, you don't have this plan to sit and like tell everybody and like go from text to text to tell everybody. And I think maybe that's where she was kind of just going from moment to moment, and people were just finding out in those various moments.
No, you're right. Yeah.
But again, like his feelings on that are so valid, and I would feel extremely hurt if I were the one left out, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's whenever they do reveal that, I think the audience is meant to be like, oh my God, she hasn't told Riley. Like, I think, isn't that the initial feeling you have, like, along with Riley? You're like, oh, even I've known, and I'm on my couch.
And his poor face, he does that little smile he does where he's like, it's that hurt smile that,
yeah.
you know,
So I don't know. For me, that's why I don't think anyone is fully particularly wrong here, because it is selfish, right? But sometimes our feelings are selfish. Like, it is selfish to be like, you, like, I wasn't there. You didn't let me be there for you when your mom was sick, is selfish, but also understandably selfish. I don't know. I understand why Buffy's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, but I also understand
this is ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous right now. Because if I was Buffy, I would be like, why are you giving me this shit right now? Why are you dumping this on me right now? I don't need this right this second. And then Riley's like, well, these feelings are just like stopping, you know, they're not like, you know. So it's sad. Just give them a couple more days. Stay, Riley.
in Riley's defense, I think if they had not had that surgery outcome, maybe none of this would be like, I feel like he thinks she's in a moment where she can take a breather to think about she deserves the night and Army could wait 5 days. But like, I feel like he does think at least this one thing can be put aside. I don't think there were a few memory things with me with this one where I was like, oh, this wasn't as bad as I thought, or, oh, this wasn't as, polarized as I thought. And that was one of them, of like, they both think they're about to have a break to think about other things.
Yeah. Well, and she's also not giving him signals that this is still something that is upsetting her, which it would be, right? Like those your body isn't going to understand that it's over right now, and it's not over. But you know what she's been told up until now. But what she's signaling to him with her actions, and he's not really thinking I don't think he's thinking, you know, super deep into, like, I don't know what her smiles mean or something like that. Or maybe he is. But she is smiling. She is like giving breaths of relief and like nuzzling into him. And, you know, they're having these like good moments these past couple days. So I could see him being like, oh, well, maybe she is good right now. And this is a good time to I don't know.
And
Dump it on her.
I can see that too. And the other thing I know we need to like move on from this conversation, but the other thing I do want to talk about is this an on purpose ultimatum? Because I don't like an ultimatum either, but I do understand.
Why wouldn't it be though? What would be the alternative to that?
No, like I don't think it's an on purpose. Like I don't think he's like. I think it's like this thing came up to me. I don't think he's like I'm gonna do this unless you love me. He's like this thing came to me. These people approached me, and I know that you don't love me, but if you do, I will stay. I don't think
he had another way to offer her an ultimatum. He didn't really have any chips to hold or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like for me an ultimatum is like. If you don't love me, I'm going to do like, I don't know. Like for me, it's like, he didn't create this scenario.
No, he was telling her the reality. He was like, the reality is this thing came up and I have to decide right now what I'm going to do.
I felt like the going to see the bloodsuckers, knowing that she could roll over, he was trying to create his own ultimatums and conflicts. They were not working, and he was given this, and at no point does he say, can I have 2 more days just to like pack my closet up? True. Like he doesn't. That
is true. How the fuck did he pack in that short?
I don't know. I mean, he's got like 4
he
turtlenecks.
Had like 4. Yeah, there wasn't much there.
It's like I've got my little Riley outfits and that, but I do think like it was a gift to him in that sense that he suddenly had this thing, but like he was looking for self-sabotaging. Like I cannot believe Buffy is that heavy of a sleeper. We're like, what was he going to say? He was on a midnight walk. So yeah, it wasn't orchestrated by him, but he picked his moment.
Yeah.
Can I retract something? Actually, I just had you're all like making my brain. It's in the best way. Like the wheels are turning. I actually don't think Buffy is avoidantly attached. I just don't think she is in love with him. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I don't think.
Which also we should come back around to. Yes, because I think that is very, very true as well. Right.
I think she has love for him, and I think she feels for him, and cares for him deeply. But I do not think deep down that she is in love with him.
But I don't think she has the energy right now to go through this breakup, and that is what she's fighting so hard for before processing that maybe she doesn't love him.
Totally.
So go ahead, Meredith.
I know we're still on the scene for forever, but I do wonder, like, also if your relationship experience is like Angel, right, or Parker for a hot minute or whatever, if you're like, well, this is what healthy attachments look like, would you know, and you love someone, you care about them deeply, does she even know she's not in love with them? And does she know? I'm thinking about, Zach, what you said about like the kind of comfort you need, right? Or don't need, right? You don't want someone to like smother you in hugs. And I'm that way too, right? Where I'm like, okay, like maybe if you do seek someone out or someone seeks someone out, it's the kind of comfort that actually feels comforting. And I think about that scene with Buffy and Spike sitting on the porch where he's like showing up to kill her, and he's the exact right person to just sit there. And doesn't he do like a there? But that's about it. That's about all she can take. And that's, but I don't think Buffy knows like she's not knowing who to go to for the right thing. And she doesn't know what her love is for Riley. Like I believe, and this will get us, I want to revisit this at the end because I have so many mixed feelings about her running for him. God forbid he turned around. Like, what does she think she feels at that moment? But we can save that.
I mean, and again, it's such a short window here. Yeah. She has this short little realization that maybe, and it's not a realization that, oh, I love him and I want to be with him forever and this is what I want. It is, I don't want him to leave. To go. I don't want him to go right now. And she doesn't have time to process what any of those emotions are. So like, God damn, like so quick. All of this is just so, there's no time for anything.
And so I also want to point out, like, the thing I relate this to is I got dumped the day my grandma went into hospice. Like, my last relationship did not go well, right? And it was like 3 weeks before we were going to renew our lease. That's why I moved back home. And I related to that of like, you couldn't fucking wait. You couldn't wait like 2 more days. And like, I think about that and whatever, that ex like got mad that I told people that's what happened. That is what happened. Like, he was like very mad because people did not like him for that. That's just people not liking you for the truth. So like, still fuck you. But like, and that like he texts me to be like, why are you're turning people against me? And it's like, by telling them the truth. Well, don't fucking do that then. So like that's where I'm like, in agreement with y'all. Like, you couldn't have asked for like 2 more. Like, she just got out of the woods with like her mom recovering. Her mom isn't even out of the hospital yet.
Mhm.
And like, that's where I do get mad at him, where I'm like, you couldn't have given her.
You can't get
5
mad at
days.
him. No, this is the writers, and he was leaving the show, and they gave him this time period, and that's it.
This would have been worse, so much worse for Riley. Like, again, like at least the writers said, we've got to let him go when
Yeah.
he thinks Joyce is okay. He
Yeah.
truly believes she's going to start living a more normal Buffy life, whatever that means. But had these been real people and
Yeah.
Riley, and he had given himself a few weeks, like, how does that relationship play out if he goes through that Joyce's death with her? Like, this is, I don't know. I mean, I know we've had this conversation, but it's it's the only saving grace I can give him is like, okay, he thought she was fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do remind myself of that. Like, he did not think she was going to die when he.
We know, but he
Right, we
just doesn't
know.
know.
Yeah.
And then he's in the rainforest, and they don't got phones in the rainforest, so he doesn't even know she does.
So moving on from this scene that I feel like we just spent an hour talking about, but it was a lot to talk about. Buffy exits the magic box after not hitting him and is immediately confronted with the vamps from.
Which is like, y'all don't watch the show. Y'all haven't seen the last few seasons and how many apocalypses she's.
Right, like-
this is nothing. This is not a team up.
Also, why are there so many 2x4s everywhere in Sunnydale? You think if you were a vampire, I'd be like, we need a committee to just get rid of all the 2x4s that are just around.
Lumber's expensive.
Give some of those men that are coming in to get bit, give them like a free bite if they like collect wood and like throw it away. And she decimates this group, and it's like, what is that? What's that Billy Eichner clip where the woman who's getting so mad at him and she's like the right bitch at the wrong time, or the like wrong bitch at the right? That's what this is. And like Buffy decimates them.
Mhm.
And like, I don't think we've ever seen her so mad. Like, determined mad, sure, but this is just, she's fucking.
This was her versus the crazy 88s.
Yes.
You know, I saw Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair yesterday, and Buffy and the Bride are so similar.
Listen, my Buffy outfit for the cabaret yesterday, I had my Kill Bill sneakers with my red pants and black tank because I
Hell
gotta
yeah.
represent my ladies. And I'm so mad I didn't get to see that in the theater. But even like when we cut to the vampire that like you said, Meredith, it's like, is this drugs? This woman seems like a vampire, maybe drug addict. I'm not sure.
After I showed my boyfriend Buffy, he was like, this is like absolute heterosexuality. He was like, and I would like to show you Breaking Bad. And I
Yes,
was
it
like,
is.
okay. And we did it. And I enjoyed it. But it felt like, I'm like, is this a Breaking Bad character? She's read it. The whole thing was like a blend. It was very, very bleak.
And I kind of like, even though it seems cruel, it is kind of cruel that like,
it is cruel.
I like it. I like that Buffy
But sometimes you don't always take the high road, and you don't always need your heroes to take the high road. It gives them, I don't know, the gray.
Yeah.
That's what I love about. That's why, like, when people do the like, oh, Willow's actually a bad friend, I'm like, no, they are flawed. They're not perfect, and that's why we love them. Like, yes, they fuck up, but like real people do that. Like none of the people I love are like perfect, and neither am I.
And
like,
she is still directing anger. She still needs somewhere to direct anger, and that is like a very straight shot.
and like it's
right
cruel,
there.
but it's not like she's murdering a human being.
No, and she's just made this whole speech to Riley about how these are not people. These people do not need you.
Right.
They are not people. So she kind of, I felt like, was also to spare her would have, she would have been defeating her own argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Spike is still alive. Couldn't even actually get staked in this episode.
He's in the crypt jerking off. So Xander approaches and is like, do you feel better now? I do like that. A lot of people really hate this conversation too. I like it.
I remembered it differently. Oh, go on.
Oh, no. Go for it.
No, this conversation shocked me because I remembered hating it. And I remembered hating him saying, run to him, basically. I had totally forgotten that he says, if you do not love him, let this man go. It's just, he says the second part with enough projecting about his own stuff with Anya that like it's a little bit better part of a speech. But I forgot that he says also, like, let this man live his life. So I was shocked by a thing I've seen 1,000 times.
No, yeah, similarly. Yeah, I feel this echo that. Yeah.
I not to like make everyone hate me. But I do feel like a little bit Riley and Xander and Kennedy, to a point, get like too much
Why
hate.
is she here? We're
they-
2 seasons away.
Because they are characters. If I post anything that contains an image of them, you would think that they turned evil after Buffy had sex with them and murdered all their friends, or tried to sexually assault them in a bathroom, which none of them did not. And like none of them did. And like I don't know. I think some of the hate is like not equal to the bad, because Xander's my least favorite main character. I do not.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, sometimes as a viewer, it's just a feeling, right? Because like I hate when he shows up anytime to like say a thing, but he says all the right things. So like there's nothing really to hate, but he's just annoying to be there with his hair and his jacket and, all of that.
Annoying to be there. Yeah. And I don't know. I just like, I think about this a lot with Riley and with Xander. Meredith, I might have told you this. I know I've told you this before, Zach, but Omar, I might have told you this when we recorded. I am always curious. One of the many bad days where I talked about ships on Twitter, and someone had said, like, I don't understand. Riley gets the most pushback, but he never murdered or sexually assaulted anyone. Like, what is it about him that makes everyone like hate him as if he were a villain? And I quote tweeted it and was like, I fully agree with this. I never understand that people were so mad. I got called sexist and like, oh, well, I know men like this. It's like, okay, but murderers exist too. So like, I don't under that. Like, that is a stupid argument to make. And like, the bar is so low that I have to say, but he didn't murder anyone, but he didn't. I don't know.
I think it's a lot of projection. I think there are a lot of quote unquote nice guys that are actually quite manipulative.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Sexist and terrible, but that's not Riley. Like that was not part of his story. That was not part of his arc. He was genuinely in love with her and just like wanted to be there for her and wanted to feel loved. He just like wanted to feel loved. That was it. And this isn't a case of someone who like the mask slips and you realize, oh, they're actually
right. He is face value.
That. He is at fit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Meredith.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it is like he can be a little boring, and so that's easy to vilify. And I also think that because all of these other people are supernatural, we can play a canonical game of like, well, I mean, I think there, even sometimes in my mind, my brain has to completely put the sexual assault into some weird box I will never open. Right. And in fact, like we all skip that episode, right?
Truly.
Because I'm like, that was a weird writer's day and I don't know but in fact, isn't that part of the point, right? That when you accept a certain amount of behavior, you're forgetting that. So I think it's that, yeah, the bar is really high for Riley to be both good and interesting. And on a show like this, it's hard to pull that off, right? And so, And I do think it speaks to what we begin to see. We do actually see these like normal guys being worse than the worst in the future. So but I don't know why people.
Meredith, it's funny that you just said that because that reminded me that I saw this the other day, wanted to bring it up and fully forgot until you just said it right now. So Chloe Zhao gave that people were furious. People were losing their minds because how dare she? She doesn't know Buffy. She doesn't understand Buffy. Someone like literally quote tweeted like she doesn't know the show. She says she's a fan, but she doesn't know what she's talking about. Yeah.
Oh,
and I was like, I think she does. She's being fair about all the boyfriends. She was like, no, she's saying Buffy should be with Riley. And I was like, that's not what she's saying. She's saying she understands like boring is a little bit more appealing when you're older. And it is.
And she's also ranking the relationships that we have seen in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that was the most mature of all the ones that she
So the Buffy Facebook groups are a nightmare, just like Facebook always is. And someone posted about that and how mad they were. And Jesus Christ. The argument, when people argue Angel versus Spike, I just want to like blow my brains out. Like, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. The show is about Buffy. It is not about men Buffy dates like that. I don't care more about Spike or Angel than I do about Buffy. Buffy is always who I care about the most. The show is Buffy, not hot vampires.
Yeah.
Yes, there are hot vampires. Yes, I would fuck Angel and Spike in a minute. Of course I would. Spike is hot.
Okay, pull your panties up.
Like someone commented like, okay, but I never got past Spike's sexual assault. And then someone's argument was Buffy was too young when Angel slept with her. And someone said, okay, but also, what Spike did was bad and I never got past it.
All of these are just a single list.
Right.
It's the same list.
And it was a woman And she was like, oh, of course everyone wants to harp on that. And the guy replied saying, but he does do it. He is like a rapist. That makes him a rapist because he tries to rape her. And the woman lost her mind and was like, I'm going to call you a rapist, and just commented rapist like 85 times in a row and was like, you need to delete your comment or I'm going to keep calling you a rapist. And then someone else commented, another woman being like, but how is that a defense of anything Spike did? And the woman said, oh, well, I pretend it didn't happen because it's bad writing. And it's like, okay, but it did happen, you moron. Like,
that woman will be in the comments of this video.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact, yes. And also,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just, that was it.
It's insane,
Well,
right?
that interview also with Chloe Zhao, it's she didn't bring that up herself. She was asked about relationships on the show and like which guy she would have brought back, and
she's not saying
fucking
shit.
Riley. Yeah, she's not saying for Buffy, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
And also when Riley does come back, like all the sexist stuff, sure, like he's got his moments. He has his moments. He's got a very particular way of thinking when she meets him. He's a military boy. He's corn-fed Midwestern boy. Like that comes with a certain set of ideals that you have to sort of learn. And when he does show back up, he's paired up with a very strong woman, and I think that says it all.
Yeah.
Like.
And Meredith, you mentioned this earlier. They are 19 years old. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't last night. I was like, how old would I just think Riley is on the street? Like, because obviously, like Buffy is playing like young, who is also 39,
yes,
42. Like, she's going through a lot. But Riley, Mark Lucas is an actor. Like, it's really, if you told me 10 things, I'd believe you. So it is. But this is really, I believe, one of his first formative relationships as well. Like she's Angel.
I would say, yeah.
And that's
a good point.
Hard for like imagine a world in which Riley is all of us and we meet Buffy. Like it's just. But the Spike thing, it's like. And it's the whole vampire narrative too, right? Like you have to do so much disassociating to say, okay, this guy's 120, 300, 400. This
that
is
doesn't
cool.
exist. Yeah.
This is cool. And she's 15. Yeah. Like is Angel grooming 100%, but we're not in that world. We're not doing that because, and this is like the Beauty and the Beast thing where I'm like, okay, you're either going to buy into the fact that yes, it's Stockholm syndrome or you're, Omar, you can speak. Yeah. He locks her in a house and gives her a library.
Right.
You're either going to like let yourself fall into it or stay out of it, but we're in. So like, what are we?
You have to suspend some disbelief. I am not going into Beauty and the Beast with my therapist's hat on. I am going believing, just being like, love is real and love is real. And this is how you get it.
No, sometimes a girl has got to be trapped in a castle to figure out what's good for her. Yeah. And that is what I am telling you. But so it's hard. And I'm so excited about this reboot, but it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot of us have wish we could hit delete on one episode.
Yes.
And
literally everything that happens in that episode. God,
yeah. Like truly, like I'll take Double Me Palace, I'll take it all, but I want to delete that one. So it's really hard.
Yeah, if there are 2 episodes I could delete from the entire show, it's Seeing Red and Hell's Bells. Like for me, those are the 2 where it's like, why did we do that writing? Like
and maybe it is because we have to be challenged with the idea that are we going to forgive and allow people to evolve. But I think because of the timing of those episodes, also, we don't get a lot more time to see those people evolve. Like it's not. Yeah.
And, when Meredith, were you on for Seeing Red?
I don't know.
Weren't you the host?
Oh, God. If so, I have blocked it out like Seeing Red.
I remember I had to be all women and then I was the 5th and I tried to not talk as much. I know it was Dana, Kim, and Summer Bishop, but I can't remember who the 4th was.
Maybe it will be hilarious to see if I was, because I think every time I think about it, I'm like, I can't remember it. It went away.
But that was Summer's big critique is like, we don't have room to breathe with that moment. Like she has to go right into fighting the nerd trio. She has to defeat them. And then we have to deal with Tara, the like blowback of Tara dying with Willow turning evil, and Buffy doesn't get a moment to like sit and like
she doesn't even get to do her hair. She's in a ponytail at the end of it. Like she didn't even get to look glamorous in that her season finale.
And I do think that is part of the problem with all of that is like we don't. And then in season 7, it's like, oh, but he got his soul, but he lost his mind. Oh, but there's just so much going on. And yeah, I don't know. But then I do love him by the end of season 7. I like season 5 Spike where we're boxing it in as this is creepy, he's a creep. I don't like the reframing of look how in love they always were, because no, that is not the case.
Yeah.
He was stalking her. That is gross. I don't want anyone staring into my window while I'm having sex. I mean, unless it's like a hot kink thing, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, I there's no reframing of they were always in love. She does fall in love with him. He is just obsessed, and that's how he channels love. We talked about that in Fool for Love. But like, I do think in season 7, when he gives her that speech, I am forgetting seeing red. I'm like, oh, but I love him and he's so hot and I want a man to say this to me.
That's just the nature of watching TV sometimes.
Yeah,
Like, do you know how much heinous shit they did on Wisteria Lane that I forgot about by the next few episodes? You know, you do it.
The first season of Orphan Black, they murder like everyone. The one woman murders her neighbor
sometimes,
gets away with it, and she murders her because she thinks she did something bad that she did not do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage anyone that's listening to this, and if you feel some intense rage about any critique that we have, I just want you to take a moment.
Book an appointment with Omar.
Yeah, take a moment. Maybe go check out my website. And also just keep in mind, these critiques about these fictional characters are not an indictment on you.
Right.
We are not judging you. We are not saying you are bad for thinking this, which is, it feels like there's some internalization happening when we say, hey, Spike was a gross creep when he did blah, 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 blah. We're not calling you that. It's not, I promise you. Okay, so go to his comments section. Yeah.
So then we move to, he tells her she should run. She gets the teary eyes and she runs for Riley. And I feel bad for her.
I like that they made the helicopter a little higher up, so we know she can't do a little hop and a jump.
I still felt like she could have done it. I still felt like
if her love was powerful enough, Meredith, but it wasn't.
It was not. Also, that I forgot the one fake out glance where he's sort of looks like what a mean thing.
Kills me.
Beautifully done. I don't remember who directed this one, but beautifully done, whoever you are, or the writer.
It's like the end of a movie.
I think it's the first Marty Noxon episode that she directed.
No way. Okay.
That doesn't surprise me then with all these great speeches. But is there a world in which she could have seen him and had a moment and been like, let him get on there?
Never mind.
Would it have hurt the
I think
plot too much?
It would have kept him around for another 2 episodes, I think, and then they would have just had the same conversation, just a little bit less heated.
I just mean that she runs up, he doesn't see her, she sees him, and in that moment she thinks, I need to let this man get on the helicopter.
Oh, it could have been.
And lets him go. That's my pitch. That's my rewrite pitch.
Xander could have driven her there, and she could have probably gotten there a little faster anyway, but I don't. He was a bird that was meant to fly. He was supposed to go.
So it was
supposed to be gone.
Not her first writing episode, was her first directorial episode. Yeah, Meredith. I don't know that I would hate that, but I don't know that I would love that either.
Okay, that's fair.
I can understand that. Like,
it's less messy, and it needs to be messy. It needs to be messy.
But okay, so it makes me cry. Omar, you said it made you cry, right?
It made me cry. Yeah, for sure.
And it's not because I'm like, oh, this great love is lost. It's just, man, Buffy, just give her a break this season.
Yeah. The feelings that they're left with at the end of this episode are just like, those aren't resolved, right? Like she is left with the guilt of like feeling like she didn't make it and she didn't do what she just realized too late. And I keep thinking of him and his final shot, his final little close up is the gut punch he probably feels thinking that she never didn't care to show up and how much that probably ripped his heart out and how long that probably took him to get over,
Which I'm so glad that she does not, but I'm also so glad she does not tell him when he comes back, like, oh, I ran for you and you didn't. Because like,
I think that was the kind thing to do.
Yes.
For Riley in that moment, like, to just, let him think what he thought.
So then we get Xander's speech to Anya. People really hate
this man. This is where I'm like, fuck this man.
People hate this speech. I don't hate it because Anya deserves this, is how I feel. Like, Anya deserves this kindness. She deserves this speech that it's not like Anya was waiting for him to give her this big speech, but she loves him so much. And it's almost, I mean, we said this earlier, but the speech he's giving Buffy is a speech that he is then like, ooh, I looked in a mirror and oops, that's about me too. And I don't know. Emma Caulfield's like little face, the way she like just gets like I'm like, oh, Anya.
So I'm a words of affirmation guy, big time. So I ate this speech up. I am like, I'm going to record this, give it to my boyfriend, and be like, this is how you need to be talking to me. Every day you're telling me how much you love me and why you love me, because I eat it up. And I just love the clarity. He's not just, I love you so much. He is like, I love you, and here's why I love you, and here's how I love you, and here are all the parts of you that I love. And I was just, again, I am not a Xander fan, but that speech, panties would have come off the second that
They probably did.
And they did. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. I like it, but I don't know. Meredith, what do you think?
It's what he does, right? And it's such a Xander thing to do. And it's like, remember how dramatic this was so that I can dump all over you later. Like and before and after, right? It would be, maybe she wouldn't need the speech if he wasn't constantly sort of like poking at her. But I do think I found myself a lot more empathetic towards everybody in this episode than I remembered. And I think, I don't know. It all also sets up what's to come. It sets up the next episode. So I think a lot of Xander and Anya and Willow are like all building to subsequent episodes in this narratively. But I did love it. And it is nice to hear that kind of speech. So let's give her a win.
All right. Well, now that we're at the end, I think I said all the trivia during this recording, any of the trivia I wrote down. But I'm trying to see. I'm like, is there any? No, I don't think there's nothing really. Now that we're at the end, though, favorite outfit, Meredith?
Anya's pajamas.
All right.
They're great. Go back and look. They're really great. They're super really fun. Yeah.
All right. Zach?
Buffy's final chase outfit. Like, I feel like that's so basic.
Not basic. That's.
She's always chasing and not getting there in time in a coat.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I think she looks cheek in that. Yeah.
Omar?
Opening scene, her little purple ripped up tank top. I thought she was just like so effortlessly casual and like chic and beautiful.
Zach, I also go with the basic answer because she looks good in a flowy coat.
She does.
Yeah. She does.
Favorite scene, Omar?
Oh my gosh. It'll probably have to be the scene where she launches the 2x4 at the vampire running away. When you think like, oh, she's going to let her go. Just like the effects and just like seeing Buffy processing that moment and thinking like about it all. And I just thought it was really cool.
Meredith?
The Riley spike.
All right.
Yeah. The fan fiction.
Zach?
I guess a tie between the ending and her conversation with Riley. I just think it's so layered, and it could be a whole 2-hour episode just talking about that.
I don't know. I still don't know because I actually weirdly I just love the Willow Anya moment. That feels like it could be in any episode. So it feels also like a cheat making that my favorite. But I think I land on Buffy running after Riley just because of the drama of it all, and I feel bad for our girl. What grade do we give this episode, Zach?
Like A minus.
Okay.
Room for improvement.
All right, Omar.
Yes, same. A minus, like B plus, A minus.
Okay,
something like
Meredith.
I was going to say A-, but now that you told me it was her first directing job, I'm like, give her an A. Yeah. Give her an A just for that shot of the lawn. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to have the worst grade. I'm like a C plus B minus. Only because I do think it comes in a weird, Fool for Love and Family are great, but then there's like a weird slump that comes of like Shadow, Listening to Fear, and this where it's like, oof, we're like going bleak. Like this feels like a preview for season 6 of like relentlessly bleak, but I still like it. It's just, it's an episode I don't usually rewatch if I'm doing a season 5 rewatch. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for listening. You are listening to this on Patreon, so you know where to find us. But Omar, let everyone know where they can find you.
Hi, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Have You Tried Therapy, and you can also check out my podcast, Pop Therapy.
All right, cool. The rest of you, everyone knows where to find us. We will
fuck the rest of y'all.
The only other thing is Zach and I are back with My Bloody Judy, so you should all check that out. And we did a Ready or Not 2 trailer reaction, and we have some other fun stuff coming up. So check us out over there. We will see you next time. Bye.